Hi, this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Welcome to my channel. Ready for today's video? Today's video, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to use one of our 2021 fall new release stamp set. They are coming soon, so stay tuned. So this set is called the Hyacinthus. I think I'm going to change the name to the Humming Bloom. Humming Bloom, it was the idea from King from Alaska. So thank you so much. I'm going to change the title for this combo set. I think Humming Bloom is much suitable for this stamp set. What do you think? Okay, so today's video, I'm going to share with you how to create this card. Can you believe that this card is created by $1 blending tool that I found from the dollar store? Can you believe it? Would you like to see what is $1 blending tool that I found from the dollar store? That's started. Okay, so 300 plus YouTube video are ready to view. If you haven't got a chance to take a look at a few of my other new release card project, make sure you click the Local King online video library, click the card you like, and it will bring you to the YouTube channel. Okay, so let's start today's video. Today's video, you won't believe it, what I use for coloring this color this stamp image. Are you ready? Okay, it is the applicator for the eyeshadow. So I got this one from the Dollarama. It's around the $1.25 Canadian dollars. So it's probably around the $1 US dollars. So I kind of have a two set. And then in my previous video, I was share with you guys how to use makeup sponge to create those kind of mini magic mushroom. But you know what? Because those magic makeup sponge, the quality is not really good, so use one or two times and then that's it. So you can create some, but I found out this one is just $1 and it work just fine for the small area. So next time when you go to dollar store, check it out. Maybe you can find the one or two pouches. And then I have been using for a while for the like a small detail area, and I found out they work perfect. Okay, so we are going to use the sun impact, and then I have those, you can use a dye-based impact or you can use a pigment impact. It doesn't matter. Just remember, if you use a pigment impact, you got to clean your sponge, like a blending tool, after you use it, because after a while, they will deposit on your sponge part. And especially those are cheap, inexpensive applicator. It's okay, you can just get a new one. But if you want to use the magic mushroom, they are a little bit, it costs a little bit more. So just make sure you're taking care of your tools. So I always pre-stamp. So in my previous video, I have been explaining to you guys, I like to stamp a few of the image and have it ready anytime I want to use it, and then they are ready to use. Okay, so I'm going to just use this that I already have for a while. The only one thing you need to pay attention is try to keep one applicator, one color. Okay, so we are going to use this Humming Bloom, and then it's one of a very pretty set. I really like it. And then the die cut is comes with two die cut, one outline die cut, one detail die. You can use this technique if you have the matching die cut. It makes just much easier, because we are going to coloring, and then we don't have to worry about the outline. And then because after coloring we go to die cut. Usually I will die cut first and then do the coloring, but today I'm going to just do coloring first and then do a die cut. We just have to be a little bit careful when we die cut it. Just make sure you use the guiding window, and make sure you have a accurate card. Okay, so these hyacinthus, they have all different color. They have a yellow, orange, pink. One of my favorite flowers, use kind of like a purple and these kind of pink color. So you always start with a lighter color. If it's not enough, you add more. So this one is a Memento number 504 and the 400. So I'm going to just, because I'm going to start with a very light color, I've got to make sure my applicator is clean. So I'm going to just use the flat side, kind of pick up a little bit color, and you're going to testing a little bit. Okay, so that's the color. Let me see my applicator is clean or not. Yep, that's a very, very light pink, like a lavender, Lulu lavender. Okay, so I'm going to just use the flat side, kind of pick up a little bit color, and then you are going to just gently kind of drawing a little circle. You want to hiding those stroke as much as you can. So you always start with a very, very light color. You push harder, become darker, you release a little bit pressure, they become lighter. So the trick is when you coloring, you just do a little circling. Okay, try to just apply on all the flowers. Okay, like this. You won't believe how easy it is. Usually I will use a Local King's magic mushroom, but because these flowers are a little bit smaller, is those big mushroom head is a little bit hard to working on the small area. Okay, and then now I am going to use the applicator, flip to other side, try to use a different color. So that's going to be my pink color. And then same thing, you always start with a little bit color. If it's not enough, we're going to add more. Gently apply, okay, because we're going to die cut it, so it doesn't matter if you have a little bit color go over the line. Okay, so just kind of testing on the scrap area, and then make sure it's not too much color, because when you're working on the light color, if it's not enough, we can go back to add a little bit more. I think that's the light enough. The color is enough. Now I am going to add a little bit orange. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to testing my applicator, make sure it's nice and clean, and then I'm going to just use a little bit orange color, kind of coloring the white spot. I think that's really good already. Okay, you don't want it too much, just a little bit, and then I am going to add a little bit blue. Okay, so that's my blue. When you use a darker color, just you get a little bit, be careful testing your applicator first before you put on top of your stamp image, because sometimes you actually pick up too much color, is going to make your flower too dark. Okay, and then now I'm going to use this darker purple, and this time I am going to use the tip of this applicator. Okay, and then this time I'm going to holding my applicator, and then in the middle I am drawing a little circle to create a little bit more depth. Okay. Okay, so now I'm done with my flower part, and then I am working on the leaf part. So leaf part, always two color, one light color, one dark color, maximum 3. Try to keep simple and make sure to pick up the clean applicator for the lighter color. If you are not sure, just testing it first before you apply on your stamp image. Okay, so gently drawing a little circle, that's how we hide the stroke. And then when you pick up the color, you brush your ink pad, you don't dip it. Okay, brush it, that way you can pick up more ink than the dipping it. So drawing a little circle, that's the best way to hiding those stroke. Okay, like this. Very good. And then in the between, we can just do a little bit, there's some stamp between the flowers. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then now I'm going to use a little bit darker green, and then you can see I kind of flip over to use other side. So try to keep one applicator and the one color, and then always drawing a little circle, and the start slowly a little bit. If it's not enough, and remember, brush your applicator, don't tap it, don't kind of tap it. Okay, I think that's pretty good already, right? Okay, and then now we are going to working on my hummingbird. I know now it looks not too many color on top, but after we die cut it, it's going to look totally different. So I'm going to color my hummingbird because my flower is kind of purple green. I want my hummingbird kind of standing up, so I am going to use yellow. Make sure, especially when you use a light color like yellow, make sure your applicator got to be clean. Okay, drawing a little circle. Like I say, push harder, you get a darker color. Release a little bit pressure is a lighter color. So I kind of just drawing a little circle. Start with the darker and release my applicator so that hummingbird have some kind of the shading. And then now I am going to use the orange color, flip my applicator, use the other side. If you're not sure how much color, you pick it up, testing first, and then I'm gonna find one spot, just gently drawing a little circle. I think that looks really good already. And then now I am going to just add a little bit darker, some blue on the tail. And this one is a little bit too dark. I want to add a little bit Bahama blue and then try to find my blue applicator. So just do a little bit like this. Okay, I know that doesn't look like what are you expecting, right? So now after we die cut it, there's still a few more tricks I'm going to share with you. So we are going to die cut it. Okay, where is my die cut? Okay, so die cut here. If you're new to this channel, remember all the local king die cut, they do have the embossing feature. So you can see the die cut have a lot of hollow area. When you put a piece of rubber and then those hollow area is the place that created embossing. Embossing. So it is a little bit hard you put your die cut on top because you cannot really see. And also our die cut is right next to the stamping line. There's no white gap. They come with the two die cut. Most of the die cut on the market is like that. Yeah, you put on top, you can die cut it, but that white gap is sometimes it can be annoying. Sometimes can be useful, but sometimes can be annoying. So we are going to use our detail die. Remember, just using your guiding window, and then you make sure your image is inside of that window, and then put your die cut here. And then we are going to tape it. And then I learned my lesson before, so I got to make sure I tape both corners. When you tape, you got to make sure your tape is on the die, your template, and your stamp image. So don't want to take any chance because that will be very painful. I spend the time to coloring, and then I didn't pay attention, and then it cut off my image. So I'm using the Canson watercolor paper. It's very good quality. So just run to the machine 1 or 2 extra time. Make sure I have a clean cut before I remove my die cut. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks very good already, right? But there's more. We want to make it even better. So first of all, I am going to flip my die cut, and then because that way I can see better. There's a lot of small pieces. We want to cut it out. Okay, and I'm going to put this one away. Okay, here, and you can see in the back, there's a lot of die cut, right? What is that? That's some small extra feature that I added to most of the die cut. With some extra cutting. So you just use the poking tool to kind of poking all those die area, and then actually see they instantly become the pop out card like this. Okay, so now we want to work a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my orange color. I think the orange color will do the best. And then I'm going to find the one applicator that I used the orange before. Actually, let me do this one just in case. I have a piece of scrap paper. Okay. So just make sure my orange is clean. Okay, so now we are going to do a little bit touch up. So you can see there's some part of the petals is kind of pop out, right? So behind the petals, I am going to actually darken it. So that way my paddle, this paddle, I make the back a little bit darkened, and then so that paddle is going to pop out. So you just using one of your applicator, kind of just poke inside under that paddles, and then we just make it a little bit dark, just blending a little bit orange color, kind of like create a little bit shadow. So that way my flower is going to have a different kind of layering. It's make this stamp image even more realistic. Okay, so poking your petals out, and then under that you kind of just blending a little bit orange. Orange will do, the light brown will do, and then let me show you. See, my flower become more 3D again already, right? And then one more thing is under the hummingbird's belly and the hummingbird's beak. Okay, you can see the beak is here in his belly. I am going to kind of, it is a pre-cut line. So I am going to kind of poking the hummingbird's belly out and then put my applicator between. So I am actually darkening under the hummingbird's belly, so that way my hummingbird can separate from the flower. Or what you can do is you can just trim off the hummingbird, put a little foam tape, and then that hummingbird will pop out too. But I think that looks really nice already, right? Okay, and then the last step is I just using my little applicator. It's actually for the eyeshadow, I think, and just darken the outline. See, Local King's die cut already right next to the image, right? They don't have that white gap between the stamp image and the die cut line, and then it still have a little bit wide gap. You sometimes it can be disturb your final project. So can you imagine if your stamp image and the die image have that big white gap, gap between the image? So that's special about the Local King's product. Okay, so let's see. You can see how I start from the beginning to the end, and then see how pretty this flower it is. Isn't that pretty? Before I die cut it, and then before I die cut, after the die cut, and after I add a little bit shadow, and then if you want to, we can even make this stand a little bit darker, and then they will back off. Okay, so let's move to the next. So the next, I want to, kind of tired of make a square sling line size 5x7 A2 size card. So I want to make at least a circle card, and I already pre-cut. Where is my paper? Okay, so instead of a square, I want to have a circle shape. So the diameter of this circle card is 5 1/4, and then the inside layout is 5 inches. Okay, and then so here is kind of my card looks like, right? So when I am using the circle die cut, and then just after you folding your card, when you place your die cut, just go like don't put your die cut completely on that folding card. Just go a little bit over. Sorry. This is what I mean. Okay, so this is your folding card, right? So try to put your die cut a little bit off this folding line, so that way they will not cut it off, so they can be a card. If you put your circle on top, you're going to end up have 2 circles. You won't have a attached circle. Something very simple, but you know what? I made mistake before, and I end up having 2 circles. Okay, so this is my purple card, and this is my coloring. That's so pretty already, but don't you think my background is a little bit too empty? because this card we want to focus on our flower and the hummingbird. They are really detailed already, right? So I don't think so we need a very complicated background, so I'm going to just do a one very light color. So this one, do you remember which stamp is which background stamp it is? This is actually our sky background. Is our new release, and then it's just so pretty. I use this stamp, create a lot of project already. Make sure you check it out. So I'm going to just give a very light color. This one is called Lulu Lavender, and then I want to kind of horizontal image, or you can do vertical, you can do whatever you like. And I'm going to just put my circle on top, and then I'm going to just rub with my finger. I think that looks really pretty. And then still feel a little bit too empty, so I'm going to just give them a little bit love. So I'm going to just use a darker purple. Okay, and this time when I put my circle on top, I only use two of my finger. Try to circle around the middle. I only want a little bit in the middle. I don't want it like a really like fully coverage for this circle. Okay, and then look how pretty it is. So now I'm going to mount on my final piece, and then I am going to just put some ribbon on the side if you want to, depending on how important your friend is. And I am going to just fast forward. I will be right back. Okay, so that's what it look like my final project. And the one more thing I want to add a little bit final touch is, okay, so I have a filter here. If you take a close look, you can see in the middle of all the flower have some of those kind of micro beads. So I just want to add a little bit on top since I have it, right? So I'm going to just use my glue. Those are just like a regular glue. Okay, and then just make sure every time you use this glue, you're going to kind of clean the tube, otherwise the pin is going to stuck on top. Okay, so here is what I'm gonna do. I have my micro beads here, and then so you're gonna just put a little bit on top. Once when you sprinkle on top, you just leave it. Don't do anything. Okay, just wait until it's completely dry, and that's it. If you want to, I have this wink of Stella. So what you can do is you can just apply a little bit on top of your hummingbird and your flower. Just give a little bit shimming. It's kind of hard to see, but it does have some kind of glitter. Something like that. Okay, so that's my final project. Look at the first one, the second one. That's exactly done by using those $1 eyeshadow applicator. So that's another way to call it the detail stamp. I think it's fast and easy, and you can find those applicator very easily. You probably have some in your drawer already. So just give a try. I have a 3 more combo set video that I need to share with you, and then pretty soon we are going to start our pre-order. So stay tuned for that extra discount coupon code. We are going to start our pre-order pretty soon. So this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.